So now I'm ready to cut in now. All right. And because my line's not that far, you're not really going to see it as much as you would as if you had installed the paint on your ceiling with a 9-inch paint frame and you were 2 inches off the wall in certain areas. Oh yeah, that's fine. You just cut that in. Well, the more cut in that you do, the more likely you are to see the cut in, or putting your paintbrush strokes on there if you don't put it on as nice and tight as you installed your paint. Maybe you have to cut in an extra time because your paintbrush is pulling some off. In fact, I may have to cut in the ceiling twice, because you remember, if you were with me when I was installing this paint, I used a little 6-inch mini roller, and because I was changing this to a white ceiling instead of the tan ceiling. See, the ceiling was the same color as the walls from before. Okay, and if you're changing it out to white, then chances are you're going to have to put 2 coats. If you just put 1 coat and think, oh yeah, I can do it, and put it up there nice and even, it never works, trust me. I don't care if you use a 9-inch roller and a lambskin roller cover or what, okay? You're still probably going to see remnants and highlights and different stop-go marks and holidays and stuff like that on your ceiling, because you're changing it out to white. Okay, so when I cut this in, even if I've used thick paint, sometimes painters will use their paint and it's kind of thickening up in their paint tray or a paint bucket or something. They might think, oh, I can put that on there with just 1 coat, even though I put 2 coats out with a roller. I might be able to get this done with 1 coat with the paintbrush. Okay, you're not as good as a professional painter, and you're not going to know all this. Okay, so if you put on with 1 coat and it dries and you think you need to put a 2nd coat, I would say put a 2nd coat on. Okay, and what am I going to use to put that on? I told you I had a cut-in brush, and I do. I use this for this entire condo when I was cutting in all the ceilings and around the baseboards and the door frames and all that kind of stuff. I use this right here. That's what I use. It actually has an angle on it, and you can kind of hold it like this instead of having the handle stick way out. I'm using that. It's a 2-inch, but and this kind of, it's not real too thick, and it kind of tapers a little bit, especially when it's wet. So it's pretty easy to use. But you know, if you don't have a cut-in brush like this, and if you're not even sure if you want to do any painting after your first project, could you use a cheapo paintbrush like this? Yeah, you could use one like this. Or where's the other one I had? I had it. Oh, here it is. See, this is just a cheapo 2-inch throwaway paintbrush, and I've been using this for all kinds of stuff. And you know, it still works. Could I use that up there and have it look just like a professional painter when I get done? Yeah, because I did such a good job up there when I installed the paint with the mini roller. I don't have to go very far out from the ceiling, do I? Look at that. I mean, 3/4 of an inch all the way along there. And that's because I use my mini roller. And if you didn't watch that video, you should watch that. I show you how to get it on nice and straight like that without hitting the walls or anything. Look at that. How did I do it so good? And now, because I decided to put masking tape up there, when I put the paint on there, it doesn't, you know, I can be fairly sloppy to a certain extent if I wanted to. Or I'm still going to do the best I can. But do I really need a cut-in paintbrush up there? Couldn't I use a throwaway paintbrush? I call these throwaway paintbrushes, but I don't throw them away after I use them one time. See, this is a 3-inch. They even have a 4-inch like that. And you know, obviously they're not as thick, they're not as nice as something like this. This will hold more paint, but in a bind, could I even do it with this one, even though some of these bristles aren't even straight anymore? Yeah, I could if I wanted. It's going to take me more trips up, back and forth, because I'm going to use a paint tray, and I'm just going to dip here and then go up and do a little bit, come back down, dip again. If I had a little bucket that I wanted to hold, could I do the whole thing with that and have it look perfectly straight? Yeah, I could. Or I could do it, or I could do it with that. But I'm not going to. I'm gonna end up using that. Okay, but I'm just saying you could use something like this, or you know those big cheap paint brushes and the bristles are real fat on it. Could you get up there and do it with that? You probably could, but you know, I wouldn't recommend going with anything more than 2.5 inches. This is a 2-inch cut-in paintbrush. I have a 2.5-inch cut-in paintbrush, but don't use one of those 4-inch funky paint brushes that you get with a whole kit. You know, I never do that. I wouldn't want to do that, because even then you're going to get it way over. Plus, even though I have masking tape up there, it's still difficult to get that into corners and stuff like that. So for all those reasons, I'm just gonna use this one here. I may end up doing a couple different spots with this little one if I wanted, just to show you it's possible. Okay, so that's my next step. I've got to get in, mix up my paint, and I was using the semi-gloss, and I'm just using. I think it came right off the shelf without them putting anything more in here. I told them I wanted the whitest paint that they had, of which they didn't have to mix anything in it. That way, if I had to go back to the store, I could. If you ever get something off the shelf like that, make sure you have them mix it. I don't care if they say it's only been on the shelf for 3 days. You have them shake it, and they'll run it through their shaker for 5 minutes or however long. That's always a good thing to do that when you're getting paint right off the shelf. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get my my little paint tray ready, and we'll be rocking and rolling in a minute. Now, I have not mixed up the paint yet, but I'm not going to show you that. I was just going to use my little paint tray like this, and yesterday I painted the walls so I wouldn't use that one. If I used any at all, I would use the white one I did the ceiling with, and that's all dry. I can pour the paint in there. But here's something else I could use, and I might use this. Remember I told you I've got a little bucket. Let's see, I could put paint in there, and lots of painters use that, and it cracks me up. I've seen a lot of painters, guys who maybe aren't painters, who are handymen, and they hold it like this, and after a while your wrist is going to get sore. Well, it's not designed to be held like that. It's designed to be held like that. See there, look at that. You just put your hand up in there and hold it. It's actually quite easy to do, and it's got a little magnet right there, and it's designed for, you can dip your paint, and then when you need to use that hand you can just go like that, see? And then that keeps your paintbrush from getting in there. And if I were to use that, I'd only put a little paint at the bottom. You don't want to put too much, because sometimes it's kind of hard to see as you're poking it in there. You don't want to get your paint too high up on the bristles. Like if I use this brush here, I would not want to put that much paint in here. I would only want to put a layer that's about that thick at the bottom, in case I decide to go all the way down. It's only going to get here. On a good paintbrush, you don't want to get your bristles painted all the way up too high. Then it's harder to clean all your bristles, and then after a while this end of your paintbrush up here gets stiff, and then pretty soon it gets stiffer and stiffer, and pretty soon you've only got a little bit left if you keep your paintbrush for a few years, you know. And in fact, this is a few years old already, but I try to keep it as clean as possible, and I keep it in the little container and stuff. So, you know, I could do that if I want. Or I could just use a little thing like this. This was a to-go container for food Momi had one day, and it was right when I was painting. I thought, hey, I'll just use that. And when I was doing baseboard, I could put a little bit of paint in here, or if painting just a door jamb or something, or if she was helping me, I'd fill this little thing up for her, and she could do that and wipe it off. And I could do that. I could hold it like this if I want. It's only a little bathroom. I wouldn't use this all day long cutting in on a ladder or something, because my wrist would get sore. I would use something like this. See? And the last time I used this, I didn't clean it out, but I used semi-gloss in here, so I can put some more paint in there without cleaning all of this stuff out and stuff, and I could use that. Okay, so there's a few options for you. And look at this. This is just an artist brush. If after you get done cutting in and everything, your 2 coats, and then once you take your masking tape off, if you see a couple little spots where you have to just dip in a little bit and you're not really trained too well to use a cut-in brush and to do cut-in, you just use something like that if you wanted. You know, just to touch up a few different spots. And I've done that before using this, and it works out really good. If you're doing, you know, just 1 or 2 little things. I did a little caulking on one little screw hole in a wall, and I got all the caulking cleared off all the way around. Instead of using a big paintbrush and slapping the paint up there, I got just a little artist brush, and I just did the circle, and it blended in way better than if you take a paintbrush and go like that. Then you can see the flash mark afterwards. Trust me, you'll see the flash marks if you look at the paint. If you look at the wall on a shiny day, sunny day, look at it at an angle, you'll see exactly where your touch-up is. I don't care if the paint is the same exact color. It just never works. Okay, so next step is getting up there and starting to do the cut-in.